moves in only a circular way. It is not parallel line as you think. Because it goes in a straight way, you think it is a parallel line. It is not parallel. It takes a turn. Parallel lines never meet. Your breathing and mind both are very closely associated. As I was telling you yesterday, the prana and mana, prana sarira and mana sarira are very closely connected to each other. If the prana becomes slow, the number of thoughts per second also reduces. Along with the length, breadth, depth of the prana, thoughts per second also reduces. Please understand. The length, breadth, depth of the prana or the breathing is directly related to the number of thoughts which you are having. If for example here, if the prana is slowly coming down, slowly going into the inner space to take turn, this is the space in which it takes turn. It's an ingoing, incoming, outgoing. This is the prana. Along with that, mind also slowly slows down. Very slowly slows down. But the difficulty, you are afraid of losing your mind. You are afraid of losing your mind. That is why you never keep your awareness in this zone. This is like a neutral zone. If you know driving, you can understand. Whenever you shift gear from first gear to second gear or second gear to third gear or any change, you have to come to neutral zone. Only after coming to the neutral zone, you can change the gear. Even if it is from first to second or second to third or third to first, whatever it is, you have to come to the neutral zone. Same way, the incoming breath taking turn as outgoing breath. This zone is a neutral zone. This is neutral zone. You are afraid of this neutral zone because in this neutral zone you are empty. You don't have any identity. The biggest fear human beings have is fear of losing identity. Fear of losing the identity. I tell you, even fear of losing death is not great fear, like fear of losing identity. Fear of losing death itself is nothing but you don't know how you will be after death. If you are very clear, you will be in some way, you don't have the fear. Here, you are not very clear about how you will be after death, how you will be after you leave the body. It is the identity, the fear of losing identity that is much worse than fear of death. Here, when you pass through this neutral zone, when your breath stops, your mind also stops. You do not want this space. That is why you just jump this space. You never keep your awareness. You are never aware of this space because you do not want to lose your identity. If your mind stops, you will not have identity for a few moments. You will lose your identity and you always think you are only identity. You exist just only on identity. When you feel your identity is lost, you feel you are no more. That's the reason whenever you come to this zone, you just take a jump. You are never aware of this zone. Every moment this zone is happening in you again and again. Whenever your incoming breath takes outgoing as outgoing or outgoing takes as incoming, this is also neutral zone. But you are afraid of these two neutral zones. You just take a jump. You do not want to be aware of this space. Every moment when the incoming breath takes as outgoing, outgoing takes as incoming, You are afraid of this neutral zone because in neutral zone you don't exist. In neutral zone your identity is lost. You do not want to be aware of losing your identity. You do not want to lose your identity. You are so obsessed with your identity. You are so caught. You are completely caught with your identity. You do not want to even remain for a moment, even for a kshana. You do not want to be without your identity. Constantly you are protecting your identity. But the big problem is your identity is completely social. It is not existential. It is just comparative reality. It is not existential reality. Whatever you think as your identity, your money, relationship, your age, your sex, whatever you call as your identity, it is just societal, unsuicidal. Societal, unsuicidal. It is not the existential reality. It is just comparative reality. But the big thing is, you are afraid of existential reality and trying to protect your comparative reality, but you think you are protecting something which is. It's a real fun actually. You are trying to protect which is not against which is. Which is your reality, that neutral space, that gap. Which is not is your comparative reality, your identity. You are trying to protect your identity against your reality. That is where you miss the whole game. That is why our life is a big failure. You are trying to protect which is not. You are trying to fight for which is not against which is. See, the light has got an existence. It has got positive existence. But darkness doesn't have positive existence. It exists only in a negative way. It doesn't have positive existence. You are trying to protect which doesn't have positive existence against which has got positive existence. In this space, in this zone, the neutral zone, the inner space or consciousness is the reality. It is a truth. It exists in you every moment. Every moment when your incoming breath takes turn as outgoing breath or outgoing breath takes turn as incoming breath, you are in that neutral space. You are in that consciousness. But you neither wanted to experience nor feel comfortable with that zone.